Today's What If episode resumes Frontier support, and in this episode I feature conceptual cards for JP Shibayama. Because Green Hybrid has such a gimmick in BT7, what would make the deck better? Let's dive right into it. The first Digimon being Kokabuterimon. This Digimon would be a searcher for Green Hybrid, with Flamemon finding so many cards for Takuya, and Strawbymon working double time for Koji and Tommy. Zoe and JP got the short end of the stick when it comes to searching. Sure, you have Bokomon, but let's be real. A generic searcher that was also utilizable for red and blue hybrid just made yellow and green more behind when it came to power. Kokabuterimon follows the same premise as Flamemon and Strawbymon from BT7, revealing the top 4 cards and adding 1 card with hybrid or 10 warriors in its traits, a Susanomon, or JP Shibayama from among them to your hand. Its inheritable on deletion lets you play 1 JP Shibayama from your hand without paying cost. Like Tinkermon from my Zoe Orimoto episode, this Digimon is also treated as having hybrid in its traits. Simple and fair. Beetlemon is where things start changing a lot. This Digimon digivolves for 1 from metalkabuterimon and can digivolve from JP Shibayama for a cost of 2, as if it were a level 3 Digimon. This Digimon's effect was loosely inspired by the more recent blue card effects, without Digivolution sources but with a twist. If your opponent has no unsuspended Digimon in play, this Digimon gains security attack +1 and a plus 3000 DP buff. Typically speaking, green cards work to suspend your opponent's board, and one way to prevent your opponent from using this effect is simply hard playing a rookie. This Digimon also has an inheritable of your turn. Once per turn when this Digimon would digivolve, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. This gives you ease into climbing into higher levels or slide evoing for, in essence, free. Metalkabuterimon follows some similar elements like the other conceptual cards that I take from BT12 Agunimon and Burning Greymon. Having a 1 cost Digivolution from specifically Beetlemon, or having a Digivolution cost of 2 explicitly from JP. But from any normal level 3 green Digimon, it's gonna be 3 memory. Metalkabuterimon's effect is Blocker and Armor Purge, the first of its kind due to being a freaking tank. Its inheritable allows you to, on all turns, once per turn when an opponent's Digimon is deleted in battle by this Digimon, and this Digimon survives, trash the top card of your opponent's security. This takes elements from Metal Tyrannomon from BT11. But hilariously, if you think about it, in combination with older green hybrid cards, you could potentially run over certain Digimon, have piercing, and do a lot of hilarious shenanigans. Now to rhinokabuterimon, this Digimon is like Aldomon from BT12, but has a when digivolving effect. When digivolving, suspend 1 of your opponent's Digimon. Then if this Digimon has a green tamer in its sources, it may attack. While not overly powerful, this card does return to some old elements of Grandest in which you can suspend and simultaneously attack. Finally, the last Digimon to go over is ancientbeetlemon. And honestly, I think this is the most powerful card for the deck. At a 4 cost Evo and 12,000 DP baseline for its body, it's pretty strong, it has piercing, and blocker. When this Digimon digivolves, it gains plus 1000 DP for each Digivolution source, until the end of your opponent's turn. Then if you have a green tamer in the sources, you may attack 1 of your opponent's Digimon even if it's unsuspended. But that's not all I have to offer. All turns, once per turn when 1 of your opponent's Digimon is deleted by battle, unsuspend this Digimon. This Digimon provides the ultimate defense and offense, as in theory, you could attack into 1 of your opponent's Digimon on the initial Digivolve, and then after you delete, you get to not only check, but unsuspend, setting up potentially a double blocker for the next turn. And finally for the Tamer, JP Shibayama returns as a simple memory fixer with an inheritable effect, that when this Digimon would Digivolve, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. So in theory, if you Digivolve JP into metalkabuterimon for 2, and then rhinokabuterimon from BT7 for 1, you could in theory attack and then digivolve into my conceptual ancientbeetlemon for a cost of 1. Sadly, although some of these green elements are strong, the ultimate pitfall for this deck is the lack of protection. And because of this is why Beetlemon gets such a souped up effect for extra aggression. But on the bright side, because of all your reduced Digivolution cost, you can very much take advantage of even previous powerful option cards like Evolution Ancient. Generally speaking, what are your thoughts on green hybrid support that I've conceptually brought to the table? While Zoe's conceptual support was a mix of tricks, and Koji received some much needed synergy support, I think having ways to be much more aggressive and faster and controlling the board with green hybrid more is what makes it better than previously seen. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you next week on one of the 2 remaining children from Frontier before it's a look at some villainy. This is DigiPanda, logging out.